All right, Jordan, again, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me.
Of
And
course.
tell me, how excited are you for the North American release of Ganymede?
I'm all the things excited, nervous, proud, overwhelmed, scared, excited.
All of the above. Love
All
it.
the above.
Yes. So this film is part horror, part coming of age, and examines the experiences that many queer people face during their formative years. How were you approached about this project, and why did you want to be involved?
Oh, good question. So I was originally approached with this project in 2020, right before lockdown.
Hmm.
Right before our lives changed.
Exactly.
I was sent the script. The filmmakers sent the script to a bunch of agencies for, read for interest. A bunch of
Mhm.
actors were on that list. I was like, what? There's no way I'm gonna be even comparative to them. But let me read it. So I read it. And it was, at least for me, I'm not sure, I can't speak for all actors, but it's rare that I read a project so perfectly fit for what I feel I want to tell and
Mhm.
share what I can do. But as soon as I read Ganymede, I mean, I was to the floor, bawling my eyes out, like, I need to do this. I don't care what I have to do.
Mhm.
It was just such a perfect fit. And so, a little unconventional, but I got the filmmakers' emails and I emailed them and I was like, hey, wonderful script.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I love you. Sorry if that's too forward, but I need to do this. I need to do this film. I don't know what else to say. This is incredible. I relate. I almost felt like it was like my duty to do
Mhm.
this film, having been, an advocate for the LGBTQ space on YouTube and just, in entertainment. I wanted to take a more artistic approach and, acting has been my number one since day one. And so again, it just felt like a duty. I felt like this was my role. And, after some back and forth for about a month, I got the call that they wanted me to move forward. And then we went in lockdown.
Of course. Okay. Good things
Yeah.
happen, then all the bad things happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll say this, like the project just developed more and more and it was more prevalent with time too. And it was just made so much more. It made what? I can't speak. It meant so much more to me with time. So yeah, it was just one of those have to projects.
Definitely. And it's all about having connections these days. You reach out to them and good things happen. That's how, even within my career, I find that is the best way of just approaching everything. You just got to have the
Well, I
connection to
don't
reach out.
I don't suggest it because like I definitely still had to, we definitely still had to like have many talks and Zooms before that. But again, was like, I have to do this. I
But at
have to,
least you got your name out there and they notice who you were.
period.
Yes, yes. So what was the process like for you tapping into the character of Lee Fletcher and what exactly did you want to bring to the role?
Yeah, so having done comedy and theater and improv and like sketch comedy, very heightened stuff, my
Mhm.
whole, life to this point, um, I wanted so badly to bring a subtle and internal struggle and chaos to Lee, which was a challenge for me because I like to be so big and
Mhm. Okay.
but that was my main intention to bringing that to Lee because he's a quiet closeted struggling kid and if I can relate it to my personal life, I was the same way. I was a quiet kid who was really really shy and anxious and
Mhm.
what have you before I found theater. I was very much the shy quiet closeted kid and
Yeah.
so I was almost like tapping into like childhood me, which maybe hurt or healed some childhood wounds.
Yeah,
And so I
exactly.
think that's what I brought to the role too, is I brought a lot of personal experiences to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So have you ever played, remind me, have you played a queer character before?
Yes. Well, yes.
What
Some projects it was a little debatable. I mean, it wasn't clear, but yes.
okay. Okay, so being a gay yourself, did you find playing the character of Lee a little bit more easier or more challenging?
Oh,
Because I know you said you kind of put in some personal aspects, but talk about your sexuality specifically. Was that easier
yeah.
or challenging for you?
I would say easier just because I felt like I wasn't, I didn't have to like stretch too far, but also at the same time too, I mean, what is, I think the biggest annoyance that I had when I first started my career was like, oh, he's too gay for that role, or oh, he's
Mhm.
not femme enough for that role.
Yeah.
And it was just annoying. And so I just like let actors kind of do what they feel is necessary for the role. But yeah, I didn't find it easier or harder. It just
Okay.
was,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, definitely. And religion is a big theme throughout the film. Did you grow up in a religious household?
No, not really. Maybe a little bit, but not to the extent at all
Hmm.
like that. Yeah, no.
Hmm. Well, then how would you say Ganymede has made you a better actor?
Oh, I mean, Ganymede was my first full attempt at like leading a film.
Okay.
So, there was a lot of pressure on me. There was a lot of just a lot of stakes. And I'm not even gonna lie to you right now too. Since the pandemic and I had a lot of health and mental health issues happen since then. I mean, it hasn't half the world. So, I was kind of basing the experience that I would have on Ganymede to tell me whether or not I should continue
Okay.
doing doing this because, I hadn't booked a film in quite a few years before that. And work was getting slower, and then the world was ending, and then the industry was collapsing, like just all of the above. And I was having like anxiety, and I don't know if it was like anxiety of like fear of being seen or just whatever. So I went into the experience when we filmed. It was summer of 2022, and I just had the time of my life.
Mhm.
And it really proved to me that like I love this work. I love the people that love this work. I love sharing stories. And if there's anything I can amplify like within the LGBTQ space or just any kind of story, I love it.
Yeah.
And so just the whole experience helped me grow
Hmm.
both uh as an actor but also as a person.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of rediscovered your passion throughout this time.
Yeah, I rediscovered my passion and myself.
That's
Know what I
awesome.
mean? I found a whole new. I won't even lie. After filming Ganymede, I actually finally felt like, oh, I'm an actor.
Hmm.
Before, like, oh yeah, I do some. Yeah, I did. But this, I was like, yeah, no, I'm an actor.
You're an
It
actor.
felt cool. It felt
Yes.
really
You
cool.
you made your mark in this industry and you are an actor.
Yeah, because
Yes.
there's a lot of as artists, there's so much. What's the word? What's that word?
What word?
Um,
Imposter syndrome?
imposter syndrome.
Pasta syndrome. Okay, yes, I totally
So
understand.
much imposter syndrome that artists
Hmm.
face that it just kind of ruins it for you. But if you can kind of ride past that, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And even within my career in journalism, there's a lot of imposter syndrome. And I think
I
that could be
bet.
safe to say for any career. I mean, you just
Yeah,
don't really know where you're going with it until you finally have that one project and you make your market like, okay, I am here. I'm doing this.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes. And so, in addition to you, Ganymede also stars Pablo Castelblanco, David Koechner, Robin Lively, and was directed by Sam and Colby. What was it like working with everyone on this project?
Pablo is a dream. I mean, Pablo was just so awesome to work with. We quickly, hit it off right when we landed in Paducah, and we just became best friends. I mean, we felt so safe in each other's company, which was so important.
Totally.
'Cause, it gets a little crazy. Um, and I felt so loved and supported, which was just so, I think that's what, with any relationship, whether it's romantic or friend or family or work related, safety is so important.
Mhm.
It allows you to do your best work and it allows you to be who you are.
Mhm.
And I felt that with everybody on this set, Pablo especially. Working with David was just insane, a dream come true. He is so passionate and so dedicated to like the craft and telling a story. I mean, to the point where like I didn't even know if he was acting or being real. Like I was scared of I was scared of him there's the scene when we're in the church when he's, preaching. And I was like genuinely terrified of him. And when I'm uncomfortable, I laugh. Like I don't know how to act. So I was like crying from laughing because I was so uncomfortable because he was
Mhm.
so real and so raw and scary.
Yes.
And then just Robin was just Robin's character in this film is so interesting because yes, she's like not the best how do I word this? She's kind of scary. She's like definitely a little strict and this and that, but there's also a heart to her that Robin played so perfectly that makes you feel bad for her too, because she's trying so hard to juggle what she thinks is right versus what she thinks is wrong, and also like what her husband is kind of forcing her to believe. And
Yeah.
she played that line so well, and she was so sweet to me in person, so it was funny to like have that dynamic in.
Hmm.
And then Joe too. I mean, Joe was such a goof, which again is funny too for how he played his part. We had so much fun off on set and on and off set. I mean, he's a trooper and he's literally in everything, so it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So it's great chemistry all around with everyone, cast, the crew, sounds like, and that's what you need for a really great project.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So ultimately, what do you hope audiences take away from Ganymede?
I certainly hope that they take away that repression has consequences,
Hmm.
and it's stop the fear mongering. And I hope it starts a conversation in places that it wouldn't have, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I hope everyone sees themselves in this film, at least some part in it.
Mhm, for sure. Do you believe LGBTQ plus people resonate very well or more to the horror genre?
Oh, certainly. I mean, horror is campy.
And
And
we
so, and our film is camp. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
my favorite scene of the whole film, and I can't wait for someone to like meme it, is when Pete Zayas, who plays Neil, Robin's brother, or yeah, Robin's brother.
Yeah.
Um, Floyd, I forgot her name for a second. Floyd, he's like, "You're in hell, girl." Like he comes back from maybe I'm giving too much away, but maybe I gave too much away. Who cares?
Yeah. So just keep an eye on that part,
Keep
right?
an eye on a zombie
Okay, on a zombie. Okay,
or
perfect.
a
Yeah.
paranormal moment.
Well, Jordan, aside from acting, you also do music. Do you currently have any music projects in the works?
I do. I have I probably my favorite song yet to come out. I just financially got like stuck a little bit in finishing the song, and also time wise, I just landed another project, and I'm trying desperately so hard to get the project filmed because what's a music release without video content now today?
Exactly. Exactly.
So trying desperately so hard to get that underway, but it is very soon. It'll definitely be this year. So
Okay. Awesome. Well, then how can one stay up to date with you?
yeah, I'm Jordan Dow on all social platforms. Like I said, I've got music coming out. I've got a Christmas movie coming out this year. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. Well, then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects, anything else you would like to mention or plug at this time?
Not that I can say.
Nothing you can say. Say.
Yeah,
Okay. That's usually how it goes.
yeah.
All right. So just stay tuned. Perfect.